Greetings folks, you are there and I am here, but we are together here and now to count down the top 10 skies of Tontime. This follows on from the top 10 Hector thunderstorms of Hectime, so please check out that video. And then following Tontime, we will be heading over to Mount Taranaki for the countdown of Tar Time, and then to the Southern Alps for Salt Time. So if you want to follow along, the best thing to do is subscribe. Tontime stands for the Tongariro time-lapse and modeling experiment. It's tongue-in-cheek. I reached all locations by bike or walking. Several involved camping at the location. The votes were cast based on this collage, so you only got to see one picture within the time-lapse of hundreds of pictures, but we can now take a gander at the time-lapses in order based on your votes. For each time-lapse, I will give a quick tour to the time-lapse location. I was not in this area for very long, only from 25th of March to 5th of April 2016, but I biked to a lot of places and was time-lapsing like a madman. So without further ado, let's get started with number 10. And at number 10 we have the 27th of March 2016. This one is a cumulus sky day looking from the north at Ruapehu, which is the highest point on the North Island of New Zealand at 2797 meters elevation, and subject of several time lapses in this countdown. Moving on to number 9, we have the 1st of April. This one is of Ruapehu again, but now we're looking from the southwest. This one has a lower level broken stratocumulus, cumulus and fractocumulus, with the high snow and ice fields peeking through. Meanwhile, higher in the troposphere, a deck of altocumulus wanders across, blown by westerly winds. At number 8 we have the 2nd of April, which was also looking at Ruapehu, except on this day the mountain was cloud covered, but what's cool about this one is the bank of cumuliform clouds forming a massive cap as they flowed over and around the mountain, which is visible in the early stages of the time-lapse. At number 7 we have the next day, the 3rd of April. On this day I biked around the southern side of Ruapehu and up a dirt track up to this awesome camp in the lee of the Ruapehu mountain, with downslope fractocumulus in turbulently flow over a stunning evening. Oh boy, we're on to number 6, which was taken on the 29th of March 2016. On this day, I ended up at a lookout on the west of Mount Narahoe, after noticing a cap cloud on the mountain. I didn't expect it to last for that long, but it just kept on hanging there for ages. I ended up camping at the spot, which led to another time-lapse coming later. One thing to note about this time-lapse is that as the sun goes down, you'll get some cooling down, the clouds become thicker, and it develops lower down the mountain. I'll leave you to think about why that occurs. At number 5, we have the 3rd of April. This one was on the way round to the lee of Ruapehu to the southeast on the volcanic loop highway. There were some nice lenticulars forced by uplift from the mountain, and also a rainbow effect in the clouds that I forgot the name of. I looked it up. It may be iridescence caused by diffraction of sunlight. But what do you think? Let us know in the comments. At number 4 is the 29th of March, yes, again, on the same day as the Narahoe cap cloud, but later in the night I set up the camera to time-lapse the stars looking at a different direction from the tourist lookout towards Ruapehu. Using the time of day option in Google Earth Studio, we can go back to 2016 and put on the stars. What do you think about it? Does it work? It's kind of blurry. By the way, later in the time-lapse it brightens because the moon rises, drowning out a lot of the stars. At number 4 is the 5th of April. This was a cold evening and night well to the west of Narahoe, because by this time I was on my way west towards Taranaki. The location was elevated, and the weird thing was that the police turned out of nowhere at this remote location. I was concerned they would bust me for camping by the road, but they were actually tracking down some illegal hunters who I think were caught. It was a bizarre and unexpected thing to happen at this location. We are down to the top 3, and at number 3 is the 26th of March, which is the earliest time-lapse of the bunch, looking across Lake Taupo towards the Tongariro Massif. In this one you can see the steaming vents of Tongariro forming some steamy cumulus. At number 2 is the 30th of March. This one was kind of crazy. It was taken from the slopes of Narahoe. To get there, I had biked up to the end of the road and hidden my bike and non-essential equipment in some bushes above the car park. I then hiked up and considered going to the summit to camp, but instead ended up set it on the steep flanks on a small flat area. In the sunset time-lapse you can see Mount Taranaki far to the west, which was the later target for Tartime. We made it to number 1, which is from the 25th of March. I'm fascinated that based on one picture this received the most votes. Perhaps you thought it was the beginnings of a thunderstorm, or you just liked the puffy cumulus over Tongariro. Either way, here it is. Just out of the top 10, we had this view of geothermal steam vents, which one person put in 10th place, and was out of the votes by the other people. And that is it for Tontime, guys. Next up will be Tartime, which occurred after a tough ride across to Mount Taranaki. You're not going to want to miss this. We've got some classic stuff coming up. I'll put together another collage for you to vote on, so you'll be able to vote via any of our social media pages on Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads, Facebook, Mastodon, or better yet, come join us on Discord. We've got great monthly photo competitions, etc., and great people. We'll do another premiere for that, mainly because the YouStorm monkey suits like the countdown music. So thanks a lot for watching. Please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't. If you enjoyed this video or learned something new, then you may find other videos on this channel of interest. Hitting the like button and subscribing really helps to support this channel. To get the latest videos, don't forget to enable all notifications.